2021 trailer. You're watching this right now. Please tell me what about this looks any different than even what released on the PS4. You know, like people have said, there's literally no difference. This is the same game. It barely looks any different. It's barely, you know, any visually more improved. It's just yet another way for Rockstar to put the same product out and make even more money. And I'm just not feeling it, man. And a lot of other people aren't either. So I don't know if this is going to be the wake-up call that finally tells Rockstar to release Grand Theft Auto 6, or at least give us a fucking update on it. But I would say that this is a pretty strong reaction from the community. You know, people are not really enjoying the antics anymore. So hopefully maybe we can get an update on a new Rockstar game for everybody to play, right? Because the thing is they've obviously abandoned Red Dead Online for GTA Online. I mean, let's be real. You know, people still play Red Dead Online and everything, and that's great, but at the end of the day, dude, like, it just doesn't get the same GTA Online does. And that's understandable because GTA Online is so profitable, but at the same time...
Precisas do quê? Nós vamos estar a sentar durante as 9. Nem sequer vale. Bem, podes tentar, mas não sei. O quê? Espera. Nós vamos estar a sentar. Estás a dizer daqui a 20 minutos também não chega.
All the new games suck, and like a new Grand Theft Auto is going to be the game that I think we all really kind of need.
Ok, então deixa-me acabar isto. É 5 minutos.
But with that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me.
You might have noticed over the past month, and it's almost exactly a month since the release of this game, I've been doing one thing more than anything else in this channel. I've gave up chess, just chatting, a thing of the past. I've been grinding what I consider to be the hardest game ever made. And this entire stream will be dedicated to how I beat the hardest game ever made. Again. Because it's a second one. I don't exactly know the title. How I beat the hardest game in parentheses, but actually, how I beat the hardest game. No. Please click this. I swear to God, this time I'm not lying. It's actually the hardest game. Please. I swear. It all started in 2017. Let me give some backstory, all right? Because when I say the hardest game, everybody gets up in arms. Let's be real. Trying to beat Zane's Marth in Super Smash Bros. Melee, or some Terran from Korea whose name I don't know in Warcraft, Star Wars, I don't know. I'm sounding like a boomer, but it's difficult. But I'm talking about single player. I think there's two types of games you can play. One is, how would I word it? It's like progress-based games. Think RuneScape. Obviously, there's an element of skill, but the longer you play, the better you'll be. You could buy an account and automatically have a leg up on someone who just started that day because you made progress and the game rewarded you for that progress just having spent time in game. Okay, there's a different type of game, and that is skill improving games. Like Madden. Doesn't matter how many hours of Madden you put in. If two people sit down and play Madden, the one who's more skilled will win. But for single-player games, they're usually story-based, and the more you play, the better you are. Until one day. One man changed the game with something that ruined a lot of streamers and YouTubers' life getting over. Who remembers the 2017 days?
Let's go.
Back when we could kiss each other on the lips, walking into Trader Joe's, and no one would bat an eye. A simpler time where we just watched our favorite streamers and YouTubers maul. Bennett body single-handedly, and admittedly, if you play the game, you didn't rip that game off. But I will say he popularized it so much that he invented a new genre of game. I call it body in game. Other people call it molding game. Games that are one level with no checkpoints at all. You know some sequel series that came from that game? Jump King? God. No! man's struggle. I'm not stressed. I am perfectly calm. And one that I consider to be the hardest of all of them. Pogo stuff raised with your friends. Now, why do I consider that to be the hardest? Is it just because I'm telling the story and I need it to be the hardest? What's the evidence? Here are the stats. The completion percentage for getting over it, 4%. The average completion percentage for jumping, it's between 2.5 and 3%. The completion percentage for pogo stunt is 1.5%. Half that of jumping, less than half that of getting over it. The game known to make everybody mull. You are more than 2 times as likely to beat than pogo stunt raised with your friends. It is a hard game. The original game was so hard they patched it to make it a little bit easier. And I'm not going to get into too many details about the original, but I will say that game is near and dear to my heart. When I originally started playing,
Não passaram 5
I
minutos.
had about 150 average views, and then I rose to over 300
Nós
average
estávamos.
views. I played that game.
Sabes que nós estávamos a falar eram já 5 e 21.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day.
Luís, eu preciso de mais 1 minuto. E a mãe chegou, não é?
Mario, first jump. Picking up the pace. Is the angle too low? That didn't go too far. On the second jump. Swift as the wind. It's not looking too good. That jump didn't cover too much. Final attempt. Good pace. Is the angle too low? A tiny jump.